everybody, ChristopherOdd here, and welcome to a playthrough of Long War 2. This is a complete overhaul mod for XCOM 2, developed by the guys at Pavonis Interactive. They changed their name from Long War Studios, as you had previously known them. And this brings so many changes to XCOM 2, it's hard to list them all, but some of the changes include different perks, different classes. The entire strategy layer has been changed, and I mean like completely changed. You now have to like infiltrate missions before you go on them to reduce the amount of enemies that you're going to run into. Difficulty is significantly higher. There's way more enemies. They act differently. There's little havens that you have to manage on the geoscape, and you have like a squad full of resistance members there that you have to manage. Like, it's very, very, very intense. And I want to thank 2K for two things. Number one, I want to thank them for letting me have access to Long War 2 a little bit before it was released. Your next question might be, well, when is it released? If it's not on Steam right now, as this video is live, then it should be quite soon. The second thing I want to thank them for is for supporting these mod developers. Like, they've given Pavonis their complete backing for this. Jake and Garth did a stream on Firaxis the other day, and like really, really cool that they're streaming Long War 2 and like backing this project 100%. So I'm gonna get into it right now, and I'll try to explain some things as I go. I've only had a couple hours to like experiment with Long War 2, but I am super excited. It's a game changer. It's a totally different game, and a lot of really cool additions and changes that they've made. So first big decision is which difficulty do we play on. Now, normally, I would play on Legend in regular XCOM 2, but if you know anything about Long War, that is not, you don't do that. If you play, I've tried this, I'll be honest. I tried to play it on Legend, and like the first mission, there was like 40 enemies, and I had like my soldiers out there just dying. It was crazy. Commander, insane challenge here. It even says like a significant challenge for experienced Long Warriors. I have not played a lot of Long War in the past. Veteran is a challenge appropriate for players familiar with XCOM. That's me, I'm very familiar. I have done some experimenting between Veteran and Commander, and I do feel that we're like somewhere in between there, but because there's so many new mechanics, we're gonna go Veteran. That's the difficulty they recommend, and hopefully it proves to be enough of a challenge in the long run. I know it will, it's gonna kick my ass. And it gives us a chance to learn all of the different mechanics that we're gonna have to learn as we go. Being that this is a new mod, and I've got two other cosmetic mods on, which is Gotcha, Flank, and we also have the additional icons so we can see a little bit more about our enemies. I'm not gonna go with Iron Man just because mods, and you know how it goes, so let's rock and roll. Gatecrasher, by the way, completely different. Okay, so as we load in here, you're gonna notice one of the big changes right away. This is different. Our loadout here is not the same ship that we've seen for the past year. They've changed this, and it's different too. It's not always the same. Sometimes you'll see paintings and stuff up here. It's a little personalized. It's pretty cool. Gatecrasher is no longer Gatecrasher as you know it. It's a regular mission where you just have to destroy the enemies, and it's different districts, different type of maps every time, and I like that. I like that a lot. Now let's talk about a couple of things that you're gonna notice right up front. First of all, this is just saying Advent, well, let's go through it. Advent typically moves its forces in large groups. We've located a smaller unit on its own that is vulnerable. A well-timed assault will damage Advent's interests in the region and afford us a rare opportunity to bring home enemy corpses for research.
The squad is
now,
concealed.
You'll notice right away, we actually have 8 soldiers here. We've got Heinrich, we've got Sylvie, we have Imani, we have Jamie, we've got Frederick, Teresa, Bella, Sakai. There we go. So we have 8 of them. Now, you're not always going to take 8 soldiers on a mission. You can, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, but a quick summary is that if you take more soldiers, number one, they split XP on the missions, so it's not gained just by kills. There's a certain amount of XP that you earn on the mission based on the number of enemies that are there. The more you take, the less each individual gets. The other thing is that it affects your infiltration into missions, and maybe I'll talk about infiltration a little bit later. It's a huge mechanic. It's a major change. So yeah, maybe we'll talk about how that works later. But for Gatecrasher, it's not too challenging. I don't think it's gonna challenge many of you when you play through it. But
On my way.
it's a necessary evil to get these guys a promotion across the board. And we have 8 different soldier types. We have 8 different soldiers. So as you can imagine, what's going to happen if we're successful, we're going to have one of each, which would be nice. Even better, if we can get these guys through without taking any injuries, that would be great. So how do we avoid them getting injured? A couple of things. You'll notice that they've got shields. So this is, if the enemy does 2 damage, they won't have to heal. They'll be able to shake that off with... It's not really armor, because it does go away. It does get destroyed in each mission. So if somebody does 2 damage, it's going to remove the yellow bars, and they'll have their standard health left.
No need to ask twice.
But it does absorb that 2 damage from impacting your actual soldier health, which hopefully permits them to not have to be in the infirmary for too long. So let's bring up Bella here. Let's bring up Sakai. And lastly, Mr. Kirsch. Alright. It's not looking like we have any enemies close by. Let's go hunting, shall we? Mr. Kirsch, you are a designated scout for this mission. And you've done a good job.
Seem more capable than the grunts. We're not sure whether to chalk it up to training or stricter mind control.
Okay, so you'll notice a couple of troopers, an officer, and a drone. The drone has armor. This trooper is carrying loot. One of the cool things that Long War's done is given more loot to enemies, so you have more chances to upgrade your soldiers, which is super important because you need to manage a giant roster of soldiers. Because in Long War 2, you're going to be going out on multiple missions at the same time, you can't just send the same squad all over the place. You can't just have your favorite 4 to 6. You've got to have a giant roster. So multiple upgrades means a lot because you can actually outfit a larger amount of soldiers with good gear, so that when they do come onto missions, they're not just like basically rookies, you know. But for Gatecrasher, we're pretty well equipped. We all have a grenade, we all have a flashbang. The only caveat is you can't use them in back-to-back turns. There's like a 1-turn cooldown. So if I use a grenade, I can't use the flashbang right away. I have to wait a little bit.
Confirmed.
Doesn't look like we're gonna get the high ground ambush like I hoped, but it does look like we can get, you know, relatively close to these guys. I might rotate Heinrich around the backside here. And I think for now this is fine. The other thing that Long War 2 does is it makes cover better for everybody. Low cover is better, high cover is better, and that obviously impacts not just us, but the enemies. So when they take cover, it's much harder to hit them. Like, it is insane. I kind of want to surround these guys a little bit if I can. My only worry is that we might find another group here, but let's take a look and see what we can get done. Yeah,
These
of
guys
course.
make up the bulk of the Advent forces we've dealt with.
Called
They're
it.
disciplined and well equipped, but their obedience makes them predictable.
So we do not want to throw down 8 on 8. That's, I mean, we do have a lot of tools at our disposal, but we don't want to do that if we don't have to. You'll also notice that they're carrying more loot, so what I like is that, yes, they're all carrying loot, and you might be looking at them as like, that's an easy kill. That guy only has 3 health. Just throw a grenade. Yeah, but then you lose the loot. So, kind of don't want to be doing that either. But what we will most likely do in this scenario is try and just bolster our positions as best we can. We have pretty decent cover here. 2 guys on full, albeit 2 guys easily flanked if they scout out to the right here. I think what we're going to do is we're going to engage. We're going to do a little Overwatch cinematic here. It can be pretty satisfying if everything goes as intended.
Got it covered.
But if it doesn't, well, you know what? Maybe what we could do, I'm actually going to throw one grenade here, just to guarantee that we do hit. I'll throw it on the officer, so we probably won't kill him, but we're also not going to kill that other guy who's carrying loot. So let's see. Oh, almost did kill him actually. And now with this many soldiers, like the Overwatch cinematic is so satisfying. Man down. Okay. Well, that squad's in trouble.
Might be something we could use here.
One brave soldier survived. He's out of here. Smart man. Smart man. He's probably, yeah, I was gonna say. Here we go. So now it's 8 on 5. The odds are a little bit more even for them. Okay, so this sentry, he's taken high ground. Good for him. Good for you. I do have a decent flank here on the engineer that I think I have to take. Unless maybe we want to try and blow this cover. Most likely it's not going to kill him either, because he's got 5 health. Let's go for it. Nope, it survives. Let's bring Heinriching around here. See, and even this, right? Like, our aim is obviously rookie aim, but as a flanking shot, you'd think, well, this is pretty good. I'll get it. We'll take it.
Ziel neutralisiert. Das sollte ich mir näher ansehen.
Okay, we can move up here with Sylvie to flank the trooper on the right. If we hit him, he's dead. If we graze him, less so, which is certainly possible. We got him. And because cover is so improved, like, the thing about Long War, and I'm by no means a Long War expert, but you gotta be flanking. ABF, always be flanking. Okay, can I get anybody to flank from here? That would be amazing, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Confirmed.
Okay, let's bring Amani up. We've got full cover. We may have to throw a little flashbang action here. We can hit 2 of them. I don't think we're gonna hit the trooper inside because he's got the wall protecting him. However,
Rolling.
I would also like to try and get that loot, so I might. This is pretty risky. I mean, this guy's in half cover. We are gonna flashbang. Why don't we do this? Well, we have a turn. We have a turn. So let's be cool about it. And maybe we can even conserve a flashbang if we get these guys in really good positions. Bella can take this wall, but that guy's just a wee bit too far.
Orders confirmed. On the
Let's
move.
bring Sakai in.
What animal is this from anyway?
What did you see? 33%, like, no thanks. I don't think we're gonna flashbang here.
Copy that.
So let's Overwatch from the back. And actually, I'm gonna, yeah, I'm gonna throw Bella up top here. Hopefully not finding another group. Put this in full cover. Much more confident with that.
Affirmative. Covering now.
Let's see what they decide to do. Being that he's flanked. Oh, hello. Looks like we have a sectoid in the winds.
No respite for the dead. The aliens have
That's
found a way
dirty.
to mind control them now.
Yeah, see, being that he's flanked, I didn't think he would want to stay there. Come on, boys and girls.
Right on the margins.
Be cool. There we go.
Incoming fire!
So we know we have a sectoid nearby. That's not great news.
I'm all right.
I really want to get that loot here, so we're gonna have to move in and take that. Sentry's coming down. But you'll notice, like, behind full cover, you're very hard to hit. But same for them. Like, our chances are like, what, 20, 30%? This guy gets an Overwatch shot after he shoots that sentry, so, you know what, good for you. Good for you. This must be nice. Alright, we can shoot at the zombie. It's not really ideal. Maybe in this scenario what we do, we just go for a flashbang. I'm gonna actually try and throw it back here. Oh, it looks like we might have a position to hit both. Yeah, we can. Let's do it. I wonder if we hit a sectoid back there too that's controlling that guy. Not quite. But now that we have the Overwatch removed, I can get in there and be a bit more aggressive. From the rooftop, do I have anything decent? I like this. This is a flank on the trooper. Can have it from here too, which limits my potential of revealing anything else. Too bad though.
They bear some resemblance to the sectoids first encountered during the invasion.
This flashbang almost did hit. That was close.
They are stronger than ever, with an even greater psionic potential.
Okay. Sectoids carrying gear. Sentries carrying gear. Everybody's carrying gear. Now we have an important decision to make here. Two of these guys are already flashbanged. We could throw another one down to flashbang the other two. That removes the zombie from the equation. I do have the ability to move in here a bit. The gunner would be flanked. I like that. Let's see if we can take down this gunner first. It'll make this decision a little bit easier. Oh, close. Close one.
Hoher Munitionsverbrauch.
Okay. I can move in there and hunker down. That's a thing I'm not super afraid of doing. We can also pull back too. We can grab the gear and then we can run back.
Got the goods.
Yeah, this could work. I think it might even be better. But the question still remains is how do we deal with that group in the back? Can I hit the sectoid with a flashbang from way back here? Well, the answer to that question is maybe. It looks like he's getting hit from there, but, you know, we're also not seeing the tiles. What are our shot chances like here? Pretty low. You know what? We have a bunch of flashbangs. Let's go for it.
Flash out!
If it does hit him, we remove the zombie, which is nice. A little bit less pressure. Got him. Okay, cool. So we can trust it. The system works. All right. Now. Bella. Nice job. Nice job.
Erledigt.
Pretty much everybody's flashbanged.
Moving out.
We got one piece of loot. I think I'm just gonna clear this guy out with a grenade. Besides his body, he's not carrying any super precious cargo. I would really like to take a shot here. And I could argue that, well, it might be worth it because they're all pretty much flashbanged. You know what? Maybe we will. Maybe we'll go for this kill in the sectoid.
On the move.
I don't know if we can get as many people in there hitting as we want, but let's start with Teresa. So this graze, you're gonna see this happen a lot. You can actually adjust this in the menu, like this graze roll. I've left it at default. Nice, nice. A little bit more work to do, fellas.
Running dry on ammo.
2 more. Here we go.
Affirmatif.
Come on, Sylvie. I believe. Nice shot.
Ennemi éliminé. Je vais me retrouver à court de munitions.
All right, now, if we can avoid taking damage here, we're in a really good spot to get out of this scratch-free. Maybe I shouldn't say anything. Don't jinx it. Totally jinxed it. All right. Now, he is flashbanged. Yeah, I didn't think he would hit. It's possible. Don't get me
I'm under
wrong.
fire.
Now we want to move in there. Does anybody have a grenade nearby? They can also reach that loot. Yes.
Good copy. Moving on target.
Okay, Frederick. Grab it. Let's try and take down some cover here, shall we?
Got it.
I don't know. I think this cover's as destroyed as she's gonna get. Gonna need to exact some revenge here. Let's bring Bella down. She's hurting. She's gonna be out for a while, but that's okay. I love the subtle turnaround point. He did. Okay, Heinrich, we've got a flank on the trooper. Not even close. At least you're smoking.
Fehlschuss.
So that's a thing.
Das war's, keine Munition mehr.
Let's see. Positions are not looking too hot here. Could probably flank here, though. Sure can.
Moving to position.
Imani, let's go on that sentry, please. Come on now. Not even close. All right, great.
Not good.
Things started out hot.
Burning through ammo fast.
Now they're less hot.
Moving.
Can I get another flank? Yes, I can.
Moving to designated position.
This trooper will die. If I make it my last mission on Earth. There we go. With
Hostile
aggression, too.
neutralized. Out of ammo here.
Okay. Rabbit's Paw, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put you, you're just gonna stand here, out in the open. You're gonna kill this guy. And if you're not, there you go. If, I was gonna say, if you're not, he will be flashbanged.
Positive confirmation. Area secured. Status confirmed. Mission accomplished.
Okay, not bad. Not bad. Gatecrasher is done. Got a lot of loot out of the deal. Very nice. We met our new squad. We have a giant pool of soldiers. And we'll probably use every single one of them. Now we get to go into some of the more intense changes. The strategy layer is like completely reworked. So pretty much forget most of the stuff you know about XCOM 2 strategy layer. And as it comes up here, I'll show you some of the differences.
The aliens are probably still wondering what hit them. Let's keep it up, Commander.
All right. So first of all, let's go through our promotions here. This first class, this is great because it's the brand new class for Long War II. It's called the Technical class. They have heavy weapons, and they can be trained in a combination of rocket launcher and a flamethrower. So right now, at the squaddy level, they carry both a rocket launcher and a flamethrower, and then you can kind of specialize and pick perks from kind of either side of that you can see here. I'll see if in the menu if we can unlock the perk tree so that you can kind of see what's all available. So there's that class. We have the sharpshooter, who does have most of the traditional sharpshooter perks, but they also come standard with holo targeting. So instead of taking a shot, you can holo target and grant bonus aim on all of your attacks to that same target by all of your soldiers. So that's cool. Next up, we've got our shinobi, who's got slash and phantom, which is carrying an SMG, which is pretty handy. Kirsch is our grenadier, so he's going to be launching grenades. Not a big surprise. The Ranger's got light 'em up and also has a sidearm sawed-off shotgun. So you've got this point-blank ability, fires sawed-off shotgun at a nearby enemy. And then you've got both barrels. Fire both barrels of the sawed-off shotgun at nearby enemy, doing double damage. So some slight little changes to older classes. Makarov's out for 29 days. She's going to be our assault with run and gun. And also they carry an arc thrower now. So remember arc throwers? Those are back. You can fire an arc thrower to incapacitate a target. And lastly, we've got Teresa Kind. She is our specialist, so she does hacking, as you well know. Here's all of the loot that we got. So we've got a hair trigger. We got an elite stock. Ooh, that's really cool. So this is another... I just feel like I'm just sharing so much information. I'm trying to like hold it back so that it's not just verbal assault on you guys, but things work a little bit differently. So hair trigger previously made it so that you would have a chance to get a free action, basically. Now hair triggers grant 5 bonus aim on reaction fire shots only. Little different. Elite stock, so I haven't seen elite anything, so that's cool. This is the first time I've seen an elite something. But stocks no longer do the guaranteed damage. They have the steady weapon ability. So if I don't want to take a shot this turn, steady my weapon, but because it's an elite stock, I'm going to get plus 25 aim and crit chance on the next shot. Like, that's really good. I'm thinking sniper rifles. You could argue that you put it on your lower aim guys, like your gunners and stuff, so that could be a thing. Body shield, the targeted enemy faces minus 20 aim and minus 50 critical chance against you. This is a PCS upgrade. Conditioning is an extra HP, as you know, and then a data pad for intel. So there we go. Now, let's get into a couple of the basic things here. I'm going to skip the cutscenes. We've all seen them about 100 times. I'm probably going to go into modular weapons first, but before we do, I'm just going to show you these other two things. You've got basic research, and then you've got engineering research. So rather than pursue a specific project, we can spend a period of time focusing on improving our theoretical understanding of alien technologies and the previously unknown physical laws that they imply. It will not be a brief effort, but when finished, we'll be more efficient in our future research efforts. It's a project you can do multiple times. And then if you want to do this with engineering, you can do this as well. So basically, think of it as like you're studying in that field and you get better at producing other things in that field in the future. So if you don't have anything to do, then you could do this research and not be like quote unquote wasting time. Everything else is pretty standard here. We are going to go ahead and do modular weapons though. I don't think we need to rush into communications yet, considering the amount of stuff we just picked up.
To be among the more intriguing options available. We'll begin
Okay,
work immediately.
armory.
I'll send word when a complete report is available.
Oh, did I miss Frederick? I guess I missed Frederick. Okay, there's our gunner. So they start out with area suppression. You fire a barrage that pins down multiple targets within a 4-tile radius, granting reaction fire. We know how this works. We've seen gunners before with area suppression, but they also carry a knife now, so you can make a melee attack against adjacent enemies. So it just add some flexibility to certain classes that were maybe lacking it in the past. So I'm a fan of these changes. I think this is great. So here's our starting group. It's large, but it's definitely not large enough. We're gonna have to hire more.
Commander to engineering.
Soon. So let's head into engineering, shall we? Let's build a facility. This is all pretty much the same as it was. We're gonna build a guerrilla tactics school here.
School construction initiated.
And then lastly, let's go into command. So in here, there's a couple of things that we need to now do. We've got this resistance overview. This is like Haven management. So if we go to like our actual geoscape, let me show you that first.
Commander.
So if we go into the geoscape, we've got the black market, which we can investigate. But this is our first haven. We're in West Africa. This is where the Avenger is stationed. And if we click on this, we can see who's working at this haven. And they each have different kind of missions that they're doing. I like to call them more like jobs instead of missions, because they're just staying here. We don't actually see them go out and do anything. To be fair, they can go on certain missions, and like these guys will show up as resistance members on certain missions, but for their day-to-day tasks, they're just staying there. So if we go back to the Haven management screen, command, resistance management. Okay, so this gives us a basic overview. This is the same screen that we saw before, but when you have a whole bunch of havens here, which we'll eventually, hopefully have, they'll all be listed. And the way that it works is each of these jobs has a different thing that it brings to that haven as you're scanning or spending time on the geoscape. So if you have people assigned to supplies, then they're going to be earning more supplies for you at your next supply drop, which is obviously pretty helpful. If you have people recruiting, basically they're looking for people that will join the resistance, and every once in a while they will find a new recruit to join this resistance squad. Very rarely they could find somebody that would join XCOM as a rookie or a soldier. And if you're doing this in like, if you're recruiting in a liberated region, there's actually a small chance that you could find an engineer or a scientist. So that's pretty cool. The intel guys, so these two, Imamu and Zizawi Manana, they're generating small amounts of intel, but really the most important thing is that they're detecting alien activity that leads to more mission detections and earlier mission detections, which gives you more time to infiltrate. So if you need to reduce your infiltration times, or actually let's put it a different way. Each mission has an expiry on it, okay? So if the more people that you have on intel, that expiry will be a little bit longer so that you have more time to infiltrate. And maybe that'll make sense once we actually start an infiltration. I like to, and I don't know if this is a valid strategy yet because I don't have enough time in it, but I like to put as many guys onto intel as I feel like I can. Maybe, what I will say is when I ticked over my first month, I made like 50 credits. So that's not a lot, and then other things happen that make you have less credits. So I feel like I maybe want to have a couple of guys on supply. Let's throw 3 on intel, 1 on recruit, and 2 on supply. We can also put an advisor in here. So this you can put in a scientist, an engineer, or a soldier. They all have different benefits. And I don't know if it's worth talking about right now because, well, yeah. It just, you can find all this information here in the archives. Long War II has added their own sections here. So if you look in this area, under advisors, you can see what the advisors do. So if you put in an engineer, they're going to give bonuses to the supply workers. If you give a scientist, they're going to generate bonuses to the intel workers. And if you assign a soldier, you're going to generate bonuses to the recruitment workers. So that's pretty cool. The soldiers do other things, like they'll hunt for infiltrators, which can happen. The higher rank the soldier, the more bonuses that they generate. you guys can read through all this stuff. It's super deep. There's a lot going on, and it's pretty intense. So here we go. Buckle up. Now, we could just scan here if we wanted to, and because the Avenger's here, all of the bonuses are kind of amplified a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and unlock the black market, since it's really the only thing on the map right now. Okay, boom. We've got a mission. Now, this is a guerrilla ops mission. We need to extract a VIP from an Advent city, and the baseline enemy activity is extremely light. Okay, so that's cool. And there's an engineer that we would get, and an intel package. Now, spoiler alert, we're gonna get 2 guerrilla ops missions and a council mission, like pretty much back to back here. We can't do all of the missions. You can, but it would be incredibly difficult because on some of them you'd have to take like all rookies, or you could take maybe 2 experienced soldiers and 2 rookies, but that's gonna be very, very difficult. So what you could do, you could ignore this and you can check the expiry time. This is going to expire in 9 days, all right? So let's go ahead and confirm this. I'll show you how infiltration works. This is really cool in my opinion. I love how they've done this. So we're basically setting up an infiltration team here. I'm going to clear this all out. Our mission would expire in 9 days, okay? Base infiltration time, that's 5 soldiers, would take 5 days. So if I just throw in, let's throw in 5 rookies as an example here. Each soldier is basically a day of infiltration. So what does infiltrating do? Well, good question. Infiltration makes it so that the more time that you can infiltrate, the less enemies you're going to face on that mission. So we've got this baseline enemy activity, so it's extremely light, okay? So if we infiltrate to 100% progress, which you'll see in a second, then we're gonna have an extremely light enemy count. It's like a normal XCOM mission. That's your goal, right? You wanna reduce the amount of enemies that you're facing, obviously. Unless there, strategic reasons to gain more experience and whatever. However, if I start taking more soldiers, let's say I start taking some of these guys, you'll notice that we're up to 2 days, 12 hours. And I can actually take up to 10 soldiers on any mission that I want, which is pretty crazy, right? To be able to take 10 soldiers. Let's just autofill this so you guys can see it. But that would take 20 days to infiltrate, which means we'd only get to about 50% completion, which is not good. The lower the completion, if you're under 100% infiltration, you're actually gonna have more than what the baseline is. So yeah, it's extremely light, but you could have more than this because your infiltration skills are terrible. So it's something to be considering for sure. Now, based on this type of mission, it's extracting a VIP. Let's set up a squad that would kind of make sense for that. So somebody with really good mobility, Imani here, 17 mobility, that's pretty good. Teresa has good mobility, but she is our specialist. We kind of want to hold her off for like hacking and things like that. Let's maybe bring our Shinobi. We could bring out one of our Grenadiers. Now the cool thing is we have Grenadiers and we have Technical, so you have explosives through various classes now. And I think like a baseline squad like that's pretty good, and we'll grab a couple of rookies. So we'll grab Otis Chicken Phillips and Lisa Cleric Complex. And you'll notice we're still way under the mission expiration. We've got 5 days total infiltration. I could send way more soldiers if I wanted to. But because we're gonna have multiple missions coming up, I am not gonna do that. We're going to just send 5. It's our baseline. You'll notice that we have abilities and gear modifying us a little bit. So we're taking an additional 3 hours because of some of the weapons we're carrying. Yeah, so like our grenade launcher and that kind of stuff. The SMG is actually impacting it positively. It's making it less time to infiltrate. So that's pretty cool. Going into their gear, if you guys want to take a look here, they all have a bunch of slots available. So frag grenade, flash flashbang and ceramic plating. We've also got unlimited med kits to equip, unlimited smoke grenades, and then we've got pistols as well if we want to equip that. They all have secondary weapons, which is cool. Let's take a look here. So sawed-off shotguns here for our ranger. We've got the gauntlet here. This is the rocket launcher flamethrower thing for the technical class. Combat knife for the gunner. The gremlin, obviously, for our specialist. An arc thrower for our assault. And then our rookies, well, too bad, so sad. We've got the hollow targeter for the sharpshooter. So that's not just like an innate skill. You have to have the hollow targeter equipped in order to do that. Grenadier obviously has a grenade launcher. Shinobi has a sword. And there we go. But all of these other items, all these consumables are like unlimited use. If you want to equip somebody with a pistol, you definitely can do that. That's not a problem. Now you'll notice he's got mobility being impacted by 4. So what happens if we start clearing out some of these extra add-ons? Well, his mobility goes up. So XCOM, or Long War 2, I should say, has an encumbrance system where the more gear you take, the less your guys can move, which is like, it's awesome, right? It's really, really cool. I do want to take out extra stuff for all of these guys because we're so weak right now. But as we go, oh, there's the 4th slot, my bad. As we go though, we want to be able to whittle this down and take less gear. I could maybe argue that we don't need to take the frag grenade with him, the throwable grenade, because the grenade slot, we probably have that handled. But I think extra explosives early on is not such a bad thing. Yes, his movement is impacted pretty heavily, but it gives us some flexibility in dealing with potential issues. So let's take a frag grenade, the ceramic plating, smoke, not a smoke, a flashbang, and the regular grenade from his launcher there. Our Shinobi, we've got, let's see, the frag grenade, flashbang, and ceramic plating. Now, she's got the SMG. If we switch her over to the assault rifle, you'll see that she's got the -3 again. But because the SMG is lightweight, she gains that mobility back, which kind of offsets the additional things that she's carrying here. So we're gonna leave it like so. And most of the time, we'll try to use her sword for damage if we can. Our ranger here, Jelani, pretty much set up the best way that we can be. I like having these options, a couple of flashbangs, or a flashbang and a frag on everybody early on. And then our rookies, we're gonna leave that how it is. So basically we're gonna start infiltration. Before we do, you'll notice that we've got something in the top left here. This is squad creation screen. So you can create individual squads, you can keep them together if you want, and that way, if you go on a certain mission type, if you're like, hey, I've got a squad that's really good at hacking missions, I'm gonna build out that squad, send it on hacking missions, you can do that. We'll get into that as time goes on. I don't think we need to commit to squads right now, but that's how it would work. So let's start the infiltration, and we'll show you that process. If there's anything I've explained that isn't clear, please let me know. You guys can obviously get the mod for yourself and like read about it in the archives, but if you have questions, let me know. I'll try to answer it. So now we're going to start the infiltration. This does not start the mission, it just starts the infiltration process. So basically we've gone there, we've dropped off our squad, and now they're going to be infiltrating as we are doing other activities. So let's go back to the black market here and start scanning. As we're doing other things, you'll notice the infiltration percentage goes up. I'm just gonna pause it here for a second. You can, at any time, you can stop this and say, okay, I either wanna go in now, or abort the mission entirely, or any other multitude of options. But let's see if we can get some infiltrating done while we're scanning. Very nice. Black market. Now, black market's changed as well, as you can imagine. No longer do you buy and sell with intel. You actually only use supplies here now. And things are, I would say, decently priced, right? You're gonna need to buy things for sure. However, you'll notice that we're super broke with 50 supplies and only 48 credits coming in next month, so we're not going to buy anything yet. However, let's take a look at some of the new items that we can find. So, starting with suppressors, these are things that you can attach to your weapon. It doesn't do anything other than reduce the impact on mission infiltration time. A couple of ways to look at this. You can attach this to people that are carrying like heavy weapons because they have a significant impact, so you can reduce that slightly. I would say that's probably one of the stronger ways of doing it. However, it's something that it's taken up an upgrade slot, and it's not helping you on the battlefield. So you're kind of going to have to balance out how your fights are going with how your infiltrations are going. Agility is dodging, as we know. Depth perception is aim and reduces enemy dodge when you're at higher elevation, sure. Hacking. So you can probably imagine what this PCS chip does, but it improves their hacking skills. Emergency life support. This implant ensures the first killing blow in a mission will not lead to instant death and extends bleed out time by 2 turns. So, super valuable soldier. Probably not a bad idea to have that PCS chip on there. Everything else, pretty standard. You can recruit scientists, engineers, and soldiers here. But I think we are good to go. John Doe, of course. Okay. You can also sell if you want 4 credits. That's fine. All right, so that's infiltrating right now. We're actually going to head... let's head back to our haven, and we'll scan a little bit there. When the Avenger's at your haven, you get additional bonuses. Modular weapons is done. So suppressors, autoloaders, hair triggers, high capacity magazines, stocks, laser sights, scopes, all of that stuff is available to equip. I'm gonna go into alien biotech next.
I'd assumed you'd make that research a priority, Commander. I'll notify you as soon as the report is available.
Dad sacrificed the only thing he had left to get this ship up.
And let's keep going. We should have another mission pop up here pretty soon. You'll notice that we're infiltrating over 100%. Now, you can infiltrate up to 200%, and that'll significantly reduce the number of enemies that you're going to find out there. There is like a baseline, there's a minimum number of enemies that you cannot go below. So in certain situations, it doesn't make sense to infiltrate more than that. Like this is actually a really good example and something that we can talk about. So over here, we're 119% infiltrated, okay? Our baseline enemy activity is extremely light. That's the lowest that it can go. And then enemy readiness is vulnerable. This is the lowest readiness level that they can be at. There are 5 different levels, I believe it is. And I can't remember off the top of my head. Actually, I have it written down here. So the 5 different levels of enemy readiness are vulnerable at the bottom, then you can go to normal, then you can go to guarded, alerted, fortified, and impregnable. Okay, this is based on how much infiltrating you've done. So because the baseline is already extremely light and the readiness is vulnerable, this is the lowest that it can go. I say we just send our squad in right now. If you wanted to, you could spend intel and you could get an additional boost on your infiltration, and it works retroactively. I think it would cost 25. Yeah, 25 intel to boost the infiltration rate of the squad by 75% for this mission. The boost is retroactive. Do you want to spend the intel? So that's pretty good. It's a good option to have. But we'd be ready to just launch the mission right now. So I think this is probably a good place to take a break. And when we come back, we will we'll have this mission available. And then after this, we're gonna have a couple missions pop up really quickly, and we'll have to manage like who we're sending to which missions, etc., etc. So, wish me luck, guys. I hope that this was a brief overview of the start of Long War II. If you guys have any questions, definitely let me know, and I'll try to answer them for you. But I mean, the mod's free, so try it yourself as well, and you guys will probably be helping me sooner rather than later. So. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I do a ton of XCOM videos. If you guys are not new to the channel, then thanks for checking out the video, as always. And because it's the first video in a series If you guys could like it, share with your friends, that would be a huge help. And hopefully we'll see you in the next ones. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye.
The world you once knew is no more. Earth is now ruled by the Advent Coalition and their alien masters.